Youth is being served here at LakePoint Sports as we bring you coverage of Prep Baseball Tournament's Youth Cup. It's a who's who of the teams that are duking it out here at the Baseball Village, including some of the 2029s. You absolutely have to know. I'm Cory McCartney. As you can tell, the allergy season is real here in Georgia. We've got a matchup of USA Prime National against Wow Factor National from the 14U division. First pitch slated at around 10:15. Be joined by Prep Baseball Georgia's Avery Hunt and our own Grayson Rosen. It's a can't-miss matchup headlined by USA Prime National's Dylan Mercado, a player that figures to be near the top when Prep Baseball unleashes its 2029 rankings later this year. Now, one of the best things about what we do here at LakePoint Sports is giving athletes a platform and a spotlight, not only to show out on the fields, but to show their personalities as well. During the recent spring break experience, MICDS head coach Michael Kratz told me that his shortstop Cam Cooper could become a social media sensation if he were so inclined. Cooper joined me in the broadcast booth, and we had some fun, including his doing play-by-play in German, so you have to go back and check that out. It's on our social channels on YouTube. But that was just the beginning, as Cam Cooper was mic'd up, and it did not disappoint.
Early bird gets the worm, but the second mouse gets the cheese. I promise I'm not clip farming right now. It feels like I have a friend out here. Rome wasn't built in a day. Rolls Royce takes a second to heat up. Me and Brian's pregame ritual today was a little different. I don't know, hopefully it's gonna pay off. I feel more locked in than usual. You know what's better than affection though? Blind hatred. But also blind lust. Are these good? Can everyone learn a backflip in the next 6 innings? We could take one practice and kind of just dedicate some time to it. Because I'd say a lot of it's mental. We got some athletic guys.
No, it's all mental.
As long as you can just like backflip. Sweet like honey. Sweet like honey. Honey on 3, 1, 2, 3, honey! Envy is the tax you pay for success. I'm too pretty to die, too charismatic to live, and just a smidge of your wildest dreams. So adversity is something that I have to crave. All right, I'm trying not to get too philosophical right now, but got a game to win. Reality is an enigma. Life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. I don't have my voice right now. I'm a little dehydrated, but I promise I have some pipes. All right, let's hope I don't look like a fool. Let's go, let's go. Yeah, come on now.
Wait, start hot.
Oh, my king. What?
How they hit this?
Man, if I was casual, stay in this headspace, anything's possible. Positivity is contagious.
That's a real game.
Spread it.
A smart guy with great quotes.
You think so?
Yeah.
Thank you. Here's my mom. Little mom. Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom.
Baby.
Hi, Mom. What's your favorite baseball tournament movie to watch in the hotel room?
La La Land.
La La Land. That's a good pick. Me and Sebastian's team represent. Hey, we're big Ryan Gosling fans over here. Drew Mills, what's your favorite Ryan Gosling film? Come on, he's in Barbie. He's in.
Yeah, I know he's in Barbie.
Yeah, but like
what else is
The Notebook. Brad Pitt. What's your favorite Brad Pitt movie? I'd have to say Meet Joe Black.
Moneyball.
Moneyball. That's a good one. That's a good one.
It's the greatest movie.
Sikorsky. What are we thinking? Fight Club. Great pick. Great pick.
Fight Club. What's that?
You've never seen Fight Club? Yeah, if I could get up right now, the stars might be aligning. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. It's a paradox. Come on, come on. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Stars aligned. Let's go. Thank you, Tommy. I like your energy. And your smile. Hold on, my mom's taking a picture. I have to mute real quick.
What you been up to with that mic?
I'm talking about a little of this, a little bit of that.
Okay.
Kind of getting a little social commentary on the political and economic state of the world. I'm on it. Okay. Let's get some more personal time over here. Okay. So the ball's actually right here. So my love for baseball probably stemmed. I've only been playing for 3 years. Like I did start my sophomore year. So, I mean, I guess it's just come natural. But then again, my whole life comes natural. So, not much left to say. But can I actually, wait, are you gonna put like edit music on this too? Is there gonna be like parts that have music? Maybe on that part, make it like an edit. Like The future starts today. So
I didn't know your vocabulary is
some people do
this
say
exotic.
I have a very verbose vocabulary, one might say. Yup. Close. Good play, LJ. Interlinked. What's it feel like to hold the family of the loved one? Interlinked. That's a Blade Runner reference. A Ryan Gosling callback. There she goes. Shout out CK. Hey, I'm not looking at quotes. Stop saying I'm looking at quotes. Charisma's perspective. I don't know, I kind of want this to be like a documentary, so I'm trying not to look at the camera too much. But then again, maybe we can break the fourth wall and we want. April showers brings May flowers. Also a good point. No rain, no shine. You gotta have adversity if you want success. But, you know, envy is the tax to pay on success, so also something to consider. Should I write a book? Should I just write a book? Low key, wait, can we like ask, can we like do one of the questions that are like on the story? What are your top 5 favorite restaurants around LakePoint? Don't be sad that it's over. Be happy that it happened. I love you, LakePoint Sports.
Some major praise there to Grayson Rosen. He did a fantastic edit on that. And as you saw there, go to the YouTube channel, our YouTube channel, LakePoint Sports, and check out the extended cut of Cam Cooper mic'd up. You will certainly enjoy that. Now, the on-field action is just part of the offerings here at LakePoint Sports, where we effort to provide a best-in-class experience, and that includes access to testing and player performance data that is redefining evaluation and recruiting. Curve Test Center gives athletes an unprecedented look at how they measure up through its ball, body, and brain approach to testing. Let's go inside the Curve Test Center.
We're here at LakePoint Sports, the site of the first Curve Test Center. There will be lots of Curve Test Centers, but this will always be the first. And why are we here? Here for a couple of reasons. One is if you think about the effort players are spending trying to get coaches to notice them, the effort coaches are spending trying to figure out who's actually any good, the poor parents who are sitting there saying, where's my kid headed? This is the answer for all that.
Everyone wants to be seen, right? Sometimes what can be seen is data. So it's hard to get in front of coaches at all these programs at once, or even the school you really want to go to. So using data helps us a ton. And as long as it's reliable and there's something that can give us better information with the small sample size is what we're looking for.
Test your athletic, cognitive, and baseball skills with TrackMan, Proteus, and more. Visit the Bubble or sign up now at curvetestcenter.com. Don't miss this chance to level up your game. Again, we got a matchup of USA Prime National against Wow Factor National from the 14U division of the Prep Baseball Tournament's Youth Cup. We'll be joining you momentarily. Expected to have a 10:15 first pitch from here at LakePoint Sports. Welcome back to LakePoint Sports. Cory McCartney, now joined by Avery Hunt here in studio. USA Prime National against Wow Factor Nationals. We bring you coverage of the Prep Baseball Tournament's Youth Cup. And I'm going to get this out of the way, Avery, because allergy season has taken hold here in Georgia without question. Got my Barry White voice going on. So if you've been to a lot of weddings and functions, so you can't get enough of your love, babe. There's my Barry. That's my Barry White voice. Yeah, I can dial it up now. We got Robert Wade on the mound here to start things off for Wow Factor National, taking on a really talented USA Prime National team. Robert Wade, Whitfield Academy, 2029, 5'11", 160-pounder, starting things off for Wow Factor. This was a big-time lineup across this entire division that we had this weekend, Avery. I knew you were texting me a couple of weeks ago saying, man, you need to look at these teams for this Youth Cup. I mean, this event absolutely delivers.
Absolutely. This is our first time running our Youth Cup here. Just trying to, we have the MPI for 15s, 16s, and 17s. Our 14U National, which is a larger event, but wanted to get something in the spring for, these top teams in the country to be able to come down and compete against each other earlier in the year. Take that level of baseball up a little bit higher. And being our first year, I'm super excited, obviously, with the roster of teams we have, and looking forward to a pretty good weekend here as far as talent goes. Cool. Tomorrow should be fun. Yeah,
and this is a really good USA Prime National lineup that Wow Factor is facing. Iker Corona is leading things off. He's going to be followed by Xavier Rodriguez and Samuel Vatterott. Corona at the plate out of California. And draws a walk. And he's going to be followed now by Xavier Rodriguez. Rodriguez, local kid here out of Archer. But he's got exit velos around 93.8. He was at both the East Georgia Rising Stars event in February and the Rising Stars preseason All-State in March. Really good catcher. Pop times down to 205. Catcher velo around 78. See what he does here with a runner at first, again facing Robert Wade.
It's interesting here. His dad, Mike, is actually with the Pro Stock guys that we see a good bit here in the summer. So was talking to those guys last night as they had a workout here just to kind of get ready for this event, obviously with a little bit lighter schedule last night.
Yeah, that's a great program, too. I mean, obviously they've done a lot of our events during the summertime, but getting these guys some early work against some really good opposition here in Wow Factor is a big-time opportunity for Xavier Rodriguez. Let's see what he does with it. He's got a 0-2 count now with a runner at first. Have you avoided the allergies?
They beat me up early this week.
Okay.
Monday, Tuesday, I was getting beat up pretty good. Actually, as shocking as it sounds, took a day where I was just like, hey, I'm just not going to do anything. Didn't feel like overly getting out of sweatpants and going the 15 steps to my office, but it was a fun start to the week for sure. But we battled through it. Nothing a little Zyrtec and some nose drops can't fix.
Well, it's literally setting on my vocal cords right now, and I'm feeling a little bit like Xavier Rodriguez did walking away after that punch out from Robert Wade. He's got one down now, get a runner at first base. Samuel Vatterott now at the plate for USA Prime National. Samuel from Wellington Sports Academy in Florida. You know what the Wellington Sports Academy mascot is?
I don't.
Beef. Beef.
No,
it's not. But Beef Wellington is a dish.
Yeah.
All right. Shortstop has that one. Cannot glove it. Wow Factor's going to have runners at first and second now. Defensively, as they watch USA Prime National get aboard a base hit that he just could not field.
Yeah. It ended up actually taking his glove off there at short. So USA Prime getting things rolling early here.
Yeah, that's not an error on the player. That's an error on the equipment.
Exactly. It's cold, a little chilly this morning, too. It should feel good right in the palm.
I thought my Beef Wellington joke would hit a little harder than it did.
It took me a second. It's early.
Okay, yeah, it is early. Now at the plate, Dylan Mercado. I had a chance to catch up with Dylan pregame. Prep Baseball's 2029 rankings will not come out until a little bit later this year, but a really good chance that Dylan is going to be among the top players in the nation when that list comes out. No one misses high for playing in his first Prep Baseball event, Dylan out of Cy Woods, Texas. Get him on the mound. He runs it up to 88. Also exit velos north of 80 at the plate. Guy plays the hot corner. Told me he kind of modeled his game after Nolan Arenado. It's a pretty good one.
Yeah, if you're going to play that position, he's usually a pretty good guy to model your game after.
The one thing I asked him about was like, Arenado's known for those crazy plays where he's falling out, towards the foul line and making those wild throws. I was like, how do you practice that to the point where you can pull it out in a game and not, you got to practice everything at some point, right? And he just said just trusting and finding that spot and just, zero in on where the ball is supposed to be going. Just makes it seem pretty easy. He's now got a 3-0 count. Dylan was part of the U.S. national team when he was in 12U that won gold in the Baseball World Cup in Taiwan. His teammate, Major Sears, also part of that team, as was Colin Anderson here locally at Etowah.
If I'm not mistaken, that team was coached by our very own David Sharp.
Oh, yeah.
I think
it sure was, yeah.
So just got a lot of correlation with that team here early. But he does, you can kind of see he's got the closed-off stance, a little bit like Arenado. Feet don't move as much in the box. Granted, Arenado might be one of one when it comes to doing that.
Yeah. Well, Dylan told me the one big thing, if he were to describe himself as a hitter, feels he's very mature. I think you see a guy, with that kind of plate discipline. When you got opportunity to drive in some runs, you can certainly see going up there, making the pitcher work, take your walk, and have that mature approach to the plate. Now, it's got a situation with the bases loaded, as we'll now see Wyatt Gordon come to the plate for USA Prime. Gordon from Rancho Bernardo, California, 5'10", 165-pound righty. It's USA Prime national team, national in every sense of the word, players from 6 different states: Alabama, California, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, and Texas. Not to be outdone, Wow Factor has 9 different states represented on their roster: Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Illinois, Maryland, Missouri, New Jersey, South Carolina, and Tennessee. Actually, make that, it is 9 because we had a late addition to our roster there. We'll see playing shortstop, Carson Coy. All right, so here is Wyatt Gordon. Wyatt Gordon's got some manners. Mom and Dad did well.
Nice firm handshake with the umpire to get it going.
It's like a job interview. All right, bases loaded, 1 down. Wade throws a nice breaking ball in there for a strike. 66.7 is the readout.
Interesting to go to the breaking ball there. He struggled with command a little bit early. It was like, let's just flip a breaking ball over, bases loaded, no big deal.
Maybe that's his reset pitch, Maybe that's just some guys have that. Sometimes you go back to that 4-seam. Maybe you go to a changeup that you have a little bit more feel on. That one gets away from the catcher. Runner's going to take off, and just like that, Iker Corona crosses the plate, and Prime Nationals got a 1-0 lead. So never mind whatever the reset pitch is. We need to hit the reset button again, as that one got away from the catcher, spiked in front of him. USA Prime National takes advantage.
It's interesting as pitchers. One day you can control the breaking ball, the other day you can't control it. And you control the fastball. I think pitching's a lot like playing golf. It's 85% between the ears sometimes. Oh my goodness!
Oh man, ropes that one down in the left field. 58.8 was the exit velo. What part of the bat did he hit that on?
I think we just had a metal bat break.
Look like it got up near the skinny part of the bat down towards his hands, and I think Wyatt Gordon just broke a metal bat. Drove in a run though. USA Prime Nationals got a 2-0 lead, and Wyatt Gordon's got himself a story.
I don't know that I've seen many metal bats break. Obviously, during the summer season, we see our fair share of wood ones, become firewood. I don't know that I've seen a metal bat there snap in half. I guess that's what you call. Safe to say that one got in on the fist a little bit.
Yeah, man, absolute strength there, muscling that in, and still got himself off on an RBI and a base hit. Wow. Danny Wallace at the Future Games is the only other guy I can remember breaking a metal bat.
You don't see that very often, obviously, with the metal here in our youth event, but that's something you don't see.
That's some serious strength.
I can imagine he has some good vibrations going on through the fingers and up into the forearms right now. It's 45 degrees and a little wind, and we're just going to...
Well, he's taking off for second base now, getting out some frustrations maybe. 2-0 is the lead for USA Prime National. And Knox Myers now at the plate with one down. Knox out of Bloomington, Florida. Got exit velos around 85 for him. Third prep baseball event for this 6'1", 145-pounder. Skies that one. Runners are going to take off. Tags up, and here comes a third run for USA Prime National. I apologize. That's not Knox Myers. That's actually C.J. Meyer. So there's a Myers and a Meyer on this roster.
Easily confusable.
Yeah. C.J. is 5'9", 158 pounds, so I granted him about 3 inches and took off 14 pounds.
If you're USA Prime, I mean, in a matchup like this, I mean, the perfect start that you could think of.
Yeah.
Get out to an early lead, get your pitching staff some breathing room as you go into the bottom half of the first inning.
Lake Charles, Louisiana's Zaylon Johnson steps in with 2 down. Johnson skies that foul. He will be followed by pitcher Adam Kramer. I feel like if you break a metal bat, they should have to give you a new one.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Those don't, those price points on those metal bats
Exactly.
are a little hefty to be snapping them in half.
All right, here comes the 0-2 from Wade. Gets himself a strikeout and brings an end to that half an inning, but USA Prime National has struck multiple times. They lead 3-0. We'll be back shortly. You're watching the Prep Baseball Tournament's Youth Cup.
Grilling is an art. Don't forget to add sausage, Picasso. Keep it juicy.
Jump to the jam, boogie woogie jam slam. Bust the dialect, I'm the man in command. Come, flow with the sounds of the mighty.
Tournament's Youth Cup here at LakePoint Sports. We've got a matchup of USA Prime National and Wow Factor National for you. Here from our Audi Marietta Championship field, USA Prime National leads 3-0 as we go to the bottom of the first inning. Wow Factor National going to send up Austin Kitchings, Ian Robinson, and Anderson McAfee here in the first, and going to be facing off against Adam Kramer on the mound for USA Prime National. Kramer fastball up around 86. We'll see what he's got in store for us here. Nice big lefty. Billingsley, Alabama. That first name that pops up on that roster for Wow Factor Nation in this inning here. Familiar name for anybody in Georgia, the Kitchings. Brother Aiden, a Missouri signee out of Rabun Gap. He was a 2023 feature gamer. Insanely athletic family. Sister Ava is a 2-time state long jump champion at Greater Atlanta Christian 2026. Also national champion at the Nike Nationals. Their dad, Desmond, was a wide receiver in the NFL. He's Virginia's offensive coordinator.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good lineage there.
Yeah. I would imagine the amount of times the entire Kitchings family is home for dinner during the week is like 0. They do Zoom calls for family
Zoom
meetings.
in for dinner.
Yeah. You got 3 kids at 3 different schools, a dad who's an offense coordinator in an ACC school. They are probably very rarely ever together for dinner. Maybe just holidays.
Yeah, get together for Thanksgiving,
That's
Christmas.
right, yeah. Here is Austin Kitchings, 5'10", 160-pounder. Saw a video of him on X, by the way, and he's in 2029, 275-pound front squat.
Good for him for front squatting.
I love front squats. I love, but not at 275 pounds.
Once upon a time, that was okay for me. I don't know that we've I don't know that I've front squatted in 10 years, so I'm just
Wow,
going
we'll get you back into it.
Yeah, back squat only. Front squats hurts my knees, and I just
0-2. Oh, man, that's right down the middle. That's going to make it 0-2. And Kramer looks so smooth. The low setup with the glove. Swing and a miss. Gets him the elevated fastball. Goes down on strikes. And Adam Kramer off to a hot start.
after the big inning in the first, that's just about as good as you can start it there. 3 pitches, gets the strikeout, and just get that offense back in there quick, let them swing it.
That'll be Ian Robinson's turn. Parrish, Florida. 5'9", 130-pound righty. Ian behind the plate. Not very often do you see a team put a left fielder and a catcher as the first 2 batters in an order.
It's always good, too, and you can run for your catcher, so if he gets on, get a little speed up. Catchers historically, not the swiftest back there.
I don't know. Ian looks like he can move.
Yeah.
It's going to be followed by Anderson McAfee, 1 down. It's got a 2-0 count here. Adam Kramer on the mound in his USA Prime National team leading 3-0. It's in for a strike, a little high. A little brisk this morning here in Emerson, Georgia. Got teased earlier this week with some nicer weather, and it is evaporated. Comes a 2-1. Rips that foul, count now even.
Yeah, last weekend we had really good weather on Friday and Saturday. Then Sunday decided that you would need a boat to maneuver anywhere you want to go. It might have been the quickest cancellation of an event in my prep baseball tenure of, guys, like, it's not going to stop raining for the next 36 hours, so let's take it to the house.
Robinson pops up down the right side. First baseman hauls it in for the second out. You guys had called the games by about 10 a.m.
Yeah, it was about 10:25, I think. We went into a delay right at 10, and we knew it was coming, and then looking at the radar, like, this is not going to get better before tomorrow. And talking to our staff that lives close by, we just doing some weather checkups. I think it stopped raining Monday at 2 p.m., so I think everybody, fans, players, coaches, staff, was like, yeah, let's just take this one to the house. So interesting enough, had a guy ask me last week, can we come back and play on Monday? And I was like, it's not going to be any better Monday, dude. So let's. But yeah, I think a 20-minute delay before we called it was the fastest in history here for us. We normally try to wait things out and get as many games in, but I think the writing was on the wall.
Anderson McAfee now at the plate. McAfee, love his style when he bounced into the box. Dude is built like a Minecraft block. 5'8", 185-pounder. Ready to do some damage up there. He's got an 0-2 count. I've already seen him foul a couple off. He skies that one. Who's got it? Who's got it? Who's got it? Catcher does, and that's going to bring it into the inning. USA Prime National holds serve. They continue to lead 3-0. We'll be back with more from the Youth Cup.
So yeah, outrage is trending. Our feed's stirring us up, splitting us up. What if we came out from behind our walls and keyboards just for a sec and just go yard, front yard? Come out bagging, jumping, check on that Johnsonville feed. Let our individual flavors blend together. Yes, block nobody, block party. Keep it juicy.
Boogie woogie jam slam, bust the dialect, I'm the
LakePoint Sports, Cory McCartney, Avery Hunt with you, where USA Prime National continues to lead 3-0 over Wow Factor as we move along to the second inning. Adam Kramer going to be at the plate to start things off for USA Prime. Pitcher with a really strong first inning. He'll be followed by Major Sears and Jordan Owens. Robert Wade continues on the mound for Wow Factor. Trying to get something rolling here. Comes the 1-0. It's going to miss, gets away from the catcher. 26 pitches so far for Kramer. Comes a 2-0. Puts that one in play. Oh, out of the hands of the shortstop. Reaches out for that one. Can't get it as it goes into left field, and he's going to have himself a leadoff single. Nice piece of hitting there from Kramer.
Good way of helping himself out there.
Yeah. Now Major Sears, at 2028 at the plate, Lake City High School in Texas. He, just like Mercado, was part of that 12U national team that won gold in Taiwan. It's his first prep baseball event. Drops in for a strike. I don't know. I can give him a ball. I thought he called a strike on that. I like his shoes.
Yeah, good
Nice.
hair too.
Yeah, he's got
Dustin
a lot
Mayish.
going on. Remember when Dustin May first showed up? He would do a squat in between pitches. Yeah, I had a lot of respect for that. He
You
was
gotta
trying to
get the
get his
legs
work in.
activated.
Yeah, trying to get leg day in. Skipped his workout that morning, but he's kind of gravitated away from that. Because of 2-0. Oh, that one is in for a strike.
Yeah, Dustin May, one of the more electric guys in the big leagues. He's had struggled with some arm injuries. Hopefully, not a Dodgers fan, but just gonna straight steal there with the pitcher still on the rubber.
Man, that was wild. All right, well, we just saw some speed play out from Adam Kramer, so he's shown out on the mound. Nice work there at the plate, and he's shown off in speed as well. And you got your pitcher still running, which is
Yeah, I mean, when you can do that, I think you just
Let him roll.
Let him go.
So the 2-1. Count now 3-1. USA Prime already up 3-0 here in the second inning. Swings through that count now full.
Interesting to see if he might shorten up here, maybe just try to hit something to the right side, get the runner over. Tried to, but pulled it foul.
Every day, seemingly, is a national food holiday here in the United States. Did you know today is National Grilled Cheese Sandwich Day?
I did not. That's not a. I don't dabble in the grilled cheeses a lot. But
Okay. I don't really eat cheese. Kind of got away from that a few years ago, and largely bread. So those would be the two components there. Would make it a little difficult to have a grilled cheese sandwich if you don't eat those two things.
Throws a wrench into your equation a little bit there.
But it's also Big Wind Day, which
That's
is basically here.
Yeah, pretty
So
accurate.
every day is Big Wind Day. WIND. Not for some people it is Big Win Day, but Big Wind Day at LakePoint Sports. Swings through that. Sears goes down on strikes. Well, he gets himself a much-needed K. Jordan Owens now come to the plate.
Good bounce back there on the mound. Be able to fight his way back into that count and finish him off with a curveball there for the strikeout.
It's also Desk Fist Day. I've never heard Desk Fist, but that's
breakfast at
literally
your desk?
Breakfast at your desk, yeah.
I had breakfast at my desk here this morning.
There you go.
So there we go.
Hamster Day for those who celebrate. So, International Day of Pink, which is I actually have my All-American pink prep baseball All-American game pink T-shirt on. I didn't even know I was celebrating. National Catch and Release Day. So I'll go out there and do some fishing if you would. National Gavin Day. So if you know a Gavin, go ahead and tell him what's up. Celebrate with him.
Hey, shout out Gavin, one of our quad managers is here today. So, hey, I'll make sure to let him know that it's his day. Might buy him lunch or something.
National Mac Day. So shout out Mac Miller. Love me some Mac Miller, by the way.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. The Swimming and Circles, those 2 albums, unbelievable. All right, that one goes into left field. Going to hold it third, and USA Prime National threatening yet again. National Licorice Day. Do you like black liquor? No, you want to do the black licorice? No.
No, none of any sort. I'm good on that.
When Turk Wendell was a pitcher like back in the 90s that played for the Cubs and the Mets, and he would eat black licorice in between innings and then brush his teeth, and it was like his idiosyncrasy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Seems like a lot of work.
Yeah. Especially if your team has a quick inning.
Yeah, man. Hey, dude, let's get some. Sit in the same spot in the dugout or something.
And if they go too long, I wonder if he had to do it again. Like if they had a big offensive inning, did he have to be like
the double brush?
Here we go again.
I'm sure dentists all over the world weren't a big fan
Yeah.
brushing too much.
Yeah, I would always wonder how they come up with all these national holidays. Like, how can there be multiple ones? How can there be a bunch of different things that are the same on the same? But as you can see, there's a whole bunch of them, and we've only scratched the surface.
Yeah, it seems like somebody just sat down and was like, we'll just make today that day.
Yeah. If you could set a national holiday, something that it probably already has a holiday. If you could set something as a national holiday, what would it be?
The day after the national championship in college football.
I think it should be for the day after every major championship in the United States sports. Because the day after the Super Bowl, nobody wants to go to work, even though the Super Bowl's earlier. Runner taking off for second, catcher is not biting though. That's the catch and release right there. And the Super Bowl is earlier, but the national championship games, those always start so late. Yeah, nobody wants. Well, let's not get into the point they should be playing those on Saturdays anyway, because it is college sports and that's what we're accustomed to. But
we'll go to a baseball one. Let's just go opening day.
Yeah.
Let's just make it a national holiday.
Yeah.
Make everybody's day better. Give the banks, the schools off.
Fixing all the world's problems here by giving a national holiday to opening day for Major League Baseball and the day after every major sports championship in the United States. But then you're going to have people but I watched the World Cup, and I had the day after the World Cup off.
The lacrosse championship was yesterday. I get today off, and it's like, it's a blurred line that you got to find the happy medium.
WrestleMania is 2 days now, so you should get 2 days. You should get that Saturday and
NBA
Sunday.
Finals,
So
just like the day after game 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Well, you should get the travel days off.
Yeah,
the travel days off for national holidays. And then if it goes game 7, so everyone would be rooting for it to go 7, because that would mean an additional national holiday. Yeah, you think the pressure on bettors that get mad at people for screwing up when they've got money down, if you could potentially get extra days off if a series extended, somebody goes for a sweep.
Bad day on X
for
somebody who screws that up.
That's right.
X, Twitter, whatever we're calling it these days.
3-2 count near. Here's USA Prime Nationals flip the lineup over to Corona. Third baseman throws it. Catcher cannot get to the plate in time. Another run's going to score for USA Prime. Nice job by the third baseman, but the throw just went a little bit too far right. Catcher had to adjust and was unable to get to the plate in time, and USA Prime National builds on this lead.
Yeah, just rushed it to the plate a little bit there and spiked it. Catcher did a good job blocking it, but probably could have just ran at the runner there as he was kind of caught in no man's land between third and the plate.
All right, that's going to be the end of the day for Robert Wade. Pitcher coming up for Wow Factor National, and we'll tell you about him when we come back. You're watching the Youth Cup.
Just burgers? It's just boring. Get your sausage on and keep it juicy.
Boogie woogie jam slam, bust the dialect. I'm the man in command. Come flow with the sounds of the mighty.
Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
Welcome back. The new pitcher for Wow Factor National, Cole Wethington from Kirkwood, Tennessee, goes to CMCSS K-12 Virtual School. So is it virtual in that you like put on virtual reality? Is it virtual that it's virtually a school?
Yeah.
Like what's the virtual?
That's a great question. You maybe put on the headset.
That would be pretty awesome,
and walk
right?
into the virtual school, and then you learn virtually in the virtual school with the virtual headset on.
Yeah, there you go. It's virtually in education.
Yeah.
But you could set it to your home. If it was a virtual school, you could literally like put the Meta headset on, and then you could like look around and see like the rest of the kids in the classroom.
Yeah, that would probably be too much for me at like 8 a.m. on a Tuesday. But
I bet that's coming. I would bet you if that's not actually where Cole Wethington goes to school, someone's going to be doing that. Someone will have a virtual classroom like that where you'll be able to see the other kids in class, and then you'll be able to look over at their papers and see what their answers are and all that stuff in a virtual setting. Xavier Rodriguez will be the first batter that Wethington will face here, with USA Prime National up 4-0 in the top of the second. Wethington with that low arm slot, works that in, and he fouls it off.
that arm slot won't be a fun matchup for all the left-handed
No
hitters.
way. 0-1, spikes down, runs the count even. Rodriguez will be followed by Samuel Vatterott. USA Prime National looks to build on this lead. Swing and a miss on there. 77.4, runs it to 1-2. You being a big NBA guy, obviously had the return of Luka to Dallas this week. Did you tune in for that one?
I watched a little bit of that.
Got him in a rundown between first and second, but smartly USA Prime National takes advantage of the chaos, scores another run on the, gets it away from the first baseman. So USA Prime National now has a runner at first and another run aboard, and Wow Factor unable to capitalize on that rundown between first and second. Frustrating moment there for sure as USA Prime National makes it 5-0 here in the second.
But yeah, tuned in for a little bit, and it's a tough day to be Nico. I would probably not on the. I mean, he's making a lot of money, but probably would have just watched that one from the house.
Yeah,
I don't know that I would have shown face in that arena that night.
Yeah, tough situation. Both in reading how the Mavericks tried to still take advantage of it by putting a video package together that they wanted sponsors to latch onto, and those that worked with Luka were unwilling to come aboard because they realized the money grab that was at play. And then just reading about the way Mark Cuban fell out of favor with the new ownership, and he was told he was going to be granted some basketball decision making that was taken away from him. That one is skied into right field on the run, makes a nice grab. Runner's going to retreat to first base, gets back barely in time. Now be 2 down here in the inning. But yeah, just a tough situation. certainly in Dallas, and the tough situation USA Prime National has created for wow factor here, up 5-0 in the top of the second. Bring up Samuel Vatterott. That's why the NBA is like the best soap opera
Ever.
in sports.
It's one of those things, too. It's like if Nico gets to keep his job, nobody should ever be fired for anything ever. Like, oh, you're bad at your job? I mean, this guy still has a job. He gave away a once-in-a-generational talent.
Vatterott 0 for 1. Watches that make the count 0-1.
I mean, I say that as, my favorite team did the same thing. But,
Yeah.
But they didn't. I mean, it's a little bit, the proof wasn't sitting right in front of you. But, they gave away Luka.
For a strike, makes it 0-2. Does make you wonder to kind of play that mental game of where would the Hawks be and where would the Mavericks be if they hadn't made that draft night deal for Trae Young and Luka Doncic.
Absolutely. I mean, hey, look, Trae Young's a great basketball player too. So it's not, Trae's been great to the Hawks, and at times during his tenure, it feels like he might be the only Hawk that has a clue what's going on. But I think it's worked out for both teams. Looking back, I mean, it's working out better for the Hawks right now than the Mavericks, I'd say. But that's a Hawks opinion. I would love to have Luka in Atlanta, but that's my opinion.
Well, there's a number of Texas kids playing for USA Prime National. I'm sure have their own feelings on what happened to Luka in Dallas. There's a 1-2. Scoots his way out of the path of that baseball. Count now even at 2-2.
Speaking of guys with the name Nico, the fun college football news for you in March. Tennessee's quarterback, they told him he wanted more NIL money, and they were like, no, I think we're okay.
I think it's going to be really interesting. We can look at it through the football lens, but when we get to the baseball side of it, when you have some of these guys that, are these like Drew Burress, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, he's going to now he's going to be changing schools after some coaching changes at Georgia Tech. I saw he's going to enter the transfer portal.
Yeah.
It's like how much power on the baseball side are those guys going to be able to, if Max Clark had gone to college and he already had a social media following, and then he goes to the school, and he says, I want more money. How do they play that?
Yeah.
In a sport that's not necessarily the big revenue driver that basketball and football are.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, as far as keeping college sports at somewhat of a, normalcy, I think what Tennessee did today is probably good for the sport. Of like, hey man, like you're not gonna big league us into paying you whatever the dollar amount is.
But it's the unfortunate part of it is, let's look at it from this end. Like think about it at the NFL level. So like, I'm a Bengals fan. Trey Hendrickson right now has said he wanted to trade. So they said, okay, go out and find the team that's willing to take you. Puts that one in play. Shortstop has it. Throws in time for the out. Says, okay, go out and establish your value. Come back to us, and then we'll go and try to work a trade. All Nico's done is establish his value at a national level. Now, if another team says, I know I can have him for X amount because that's what Tennessee wasn't willing to give him,
yeah,
do they now bite? Now it becomes like you're basically allowed to do that kind of thing and market yourself without entering the transfer portal, but saying, okay, if you want me, hit this number and I'm yours.
Yeah, I just think at some point somebody's going to have to step in and be like, hey, guys, like when you sign to a school, it's a 2-year contract of like, especially on the football side of like, even basketball too. I mean, you look at the college basketball ranks, you're going to have your top 15 teams are going to be 3 one-and-dones and transfer portal guys. Your mid-tier SEC, ACC, Big 12 schools is a new roster basically every year. Like being a Georgia basketball fan, I show up on the first day and it's like, all right, let's see what our 12 is this year, because Georgia will have a whole new roster. We're gonna have. There needs to be some sort of legislation in place where it's like, all right, guys, we need to, you got to have some method to the madness almost.
Yeah, I know there have been calls for somebody to almost be the commissioner of college football, but I feel like there has to be somebody who needs to be. And obviously, we have the NCAA, but we know, the amount of power that they actually hold in terms of laying down some of these laws. There really needs to be an overall commissioner of college sports that's overseeing all this stuff. And, it's still, in a lot of ways, as we kind of work through some NIL stuff ourselves here at LakePoint Sports and talking to lawyers, it's still very much the Wild West in a lot of regards.
Absolutely. I mean, you see all the especially the football guys. Obviously, that's the biggest revenue generator. You see them, coaches saying like, "Dude, I've got guys in practice that teams are openly reaching out to.
Yeah,
like, hey, I'll give you this amount of money to leave, enter the portal, and come to us." You saw it. Like a lot of college teams canceled just like, hey, we're not playing a spring game.
Yeah, because it's advertisement. All right, Carson Coy going to lead things off for Wow Factory, who trail 5-0 here in the bottom of the second. He'll be followed by Brian Ward and Sam Lerner. It's in for a strike out of the hands of Kramer. Kramer has thrown just 12 pitches so far. Had a really fast first inning. Trying to replicate that here. Coy sends that one foul. Count now 0-2. And Kramer, a fast worker. He's been everything so far for Prime National. Got himself a base hit. Also got a strikeout.
Swiped a base with the pitcher still on the rubber, so that's fun.
Yeah. Here comes with the 0-2. Misses. How are you going to handle next Saturday on a one-day tournament for the Easter Challenge? How chaotic is that?
It's not too bad. Everybody will play 2 pool play games, and we'll break off into a mini bracket, so shouldn't be too strenuous. It's fouled off too. We'll get mostly everybody will play Friday and early Saturday, and then we'll break off to a mini bracket once we take our pool winners, and
then they do the egg hunt and go home.
Yep. Then we'll just put eggs out in the outfield. Let the little kids.
There you go. That's what we should do. We should have like the egg. We should have like coupons for all the places in the baseball village, and you go and you find it. And you get a pair of batting gloves and bat donut.
We have to get with our marketing, marketing and partnerships.
That's right.
And be like, hey guys, just an idea
Let's
for
do
you.
this. Have people pay like a certain amount. Pay like $20, and you know you're going to get X amount of dollars worth of merchandise to go out and do the egg hunt. You just don't know what you're going to get. It's like a grab bag. Misses high. Years ago, went to one of the Braves luncheons because when I was working for Fox Sports South, every year we would have to go like to this preseason luncheon that would, like John Sherholtz would talk to everybody and all that. And you would sit at a table, and they would have one of the Braves would sit at the table with you. But they had like these auctions. So they would have these like paper bags that would have baseballs in them. And they would say, that one goes foul. They would have a sign up and it said, includes, Chipper Jones, Dale Murphy, Tom Glavine, but you don't know which one you're going to get. You pay like $20 and you can get any ball in this bag. So you go home and open them. Did 2 of them one year. Got Julio Teheran and David Ross, which obviously is not Chipper Jones, Dale Murphy, or Tom Glavine, but
David Ross,
concept.
Big league manager, and Julio Teheran ended up having a great career, even during the sparse years. And
Julio was one of my favorite Braves when I was covering the team for 12 years because he was unnecessarily honest, and I don't know that if it was just because English wasn't his first language, but he would just tell you exactly how he felt. I remember one day Freddie Freeman was recounting to me when they really just had the 2 of them, that he said he would come in and Julio was pitching, and he said, that one's going down the right side. Is that going to get through? Cannot glove it. It goes through the wicket of the second baseman. And Wow Factor's got their first base hit from Carson Coy. Lead things off here in the second. But Freddie said that he would look over at Julio and say, well, you better throw a no-hitter, and I better hit a home run if we're going to win this game, because that was all they had.
So it's a real, at that point in Braves history, that was a pretty accurate description.
Yeah.
And my favorite thing about Teheran, especially in his last few years with the Braves, obviously English not his first language. The go-to in every post-game interview is, I'm just still working on my slider.
He would say, it's good. It's good.
Just working on my slider. And I'm just like, Julio, we work on the fastball today. Just mix in throw us a curveball here and see what we got.
This guy's a 1-1 back. We would say, Julio, how was fastball working today? It's good. It's good. He was a lot of fun, though. Counts 1-1. Kudos to those guys. I was reading an article about Ronald Acuna Jr. that Ken Rosenthal wrote. And I had conversations in English with Acuna years ago as he was starting to learn English. But now he's like trying to actually do his own interviews with Franco Garcia, who's been with the Braves for a long time. He used to work in their ticket office. He's been the translator you guys have seen on TV for years now, with kind of Franco off to the side, and he'll look over for him if he needs help. But man, the Braves used to run this program where they would have iPads that they would give everybody when they got into rookie ball, and they would have to run Rosetta Stone and they would have to go through the course and learn that way. Because you think about even close here in Rome, like it's not just about what happens at the major league level when you're dealing with media. It's after a single A game and going out to dinner and trying to order, or going to the grocery store, or going to get gas, or doing any of the little things, go to the bank, any of the small things that we think about. That these guys have to try to figure out on the fly, being plucked from home and sent here to play baseball. So for a guy like Acuna to get to the point where he feels comfortable enough at this level of stardom to start doing his own interviews in another language,
it's also
hats off.
It helps marketability too.
Oh, without question.
Commercials,
yeah,
stuff like that, being able to.
Yeah. Got Brian Ward at the plate now. This is an absolute grown man, 6'1", 210 pounds for 2028. Nearly went yard in the last game this morning against DC Fulton, a game that Wow Factor won 4-0. Hit one off the wall, 91-4 off his bat, but he draws a walk there, and there'll be runners at first and second. Go ahead and have a word here with Kramer, who's found himself in trouble for the first time, gave up a base hit, now a walk. I think he's got a bit of a leash, you would think, with that kind of work that he's done so far in a 5-0 lead here in the second.
Absolutely. Big inning here for Wow Factor. Got to try to push across at least one run, just to kind of keep you in the ball game. If you push across one, it gives you a shot, and if you push across more than that, you'll always take it. But, big spot here to try and score some runs and keep yourself in this game, obviously, early on.
Sam Lerner from Adug now at the plate. Greater Atlanta area kid, wears 44. You hope he's wearing 44 for Hank Aaron. All right, he's got a chance to cash in now and eat into this 5-0 lead. Lerner, the extra hitter so far in this game. We'll see if he gets out into the plate defensively. Swings through that first pitch from Kramer. First times we've really seen him pitch from the stretch. Glances back at the runner. Sends that one down the right side, foul. You get nervous?
No, just getting text and making sure I'm not missing anything, But good job here after the mound visit, being able to kind of settle the ship here and get back in the strike zone.
Kramer with the 0-2. You mentioned the Masters to me during the commercial, and I told you I don't watch golf, but I haven't really watched since Tiger Woods was at his peak. But who's the pick going into the weekend for you? Well, I guess the weekend's here, but we got
the chalk answer is Scotty Scheffler, but that.
Dribbler, cannot glove that. Falls down on the bag. Little insult to injury there. Wow Factor's going to have the bases loaded.
Taylor made double play there, probably rushed it a little bit at short and just kind of got ahead of himself and dropped the ball on the way to the base. So Wow Factor in business here with the bases loaded and nobody out. But to answer your question, Scotty Scheffler seems like the obvious choice. I mean, he's won 2 out of the last 3 and probably the best golfer on the planet over the last 18 months. But, my honest answer, I'd love Rory to win it just because it's been so long. But
no one goes back foul. So I'll tell you, when I worked at Sports Illustrated, we had to it was like you got obsessed with each thing that was happening because all of our resources would go into covering that one event. Right, so when the French Open's happening, you're all into tennis, and when when the big Grand Prix and F1 is going on, you're all into that. Indy 500, same thing. Daytona 500, Masters, all the Open Championships, all that. when I left and I didn't have to get so engulfed in those things anymore, I just completely stopped paying attention to stuff I didn't want to pay attention to. So I was like knee deep in it when it was like Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods and Ian Poulter and all those guys playing for these championships. And obviously I'm still familiar with all the major names, but just don't watch with any level of intrigue or interest like I used to.
Hand up, golf is a very big hobby of mine. I don't watch as much golf as I used to. It's just I don't have 8 hours on a Saturday or Sunday to sit down and be like, see what he does on number 10 here.
Well, that's why so in my house, that's why we watch like baseball, football, basketball, and wrestling. You know, that's why we're into we watch the WWE, all that stuff. Because if I'm going to watch what I want to watch, then I'm going to watch I got to watch something mindless. You know, I don't watch soap operas, so I don't watch reality TV. That's as close as I come to reality TV.
It's a big strikeout there for the first out of the inning.
Nice job by Kramer rebounding.
Yeah, that's something that I had to explain to my fiance early on in our relationship. She's like, you don't really watch TV. You just watch sports. It's like, yeah, it is TV. If you watch the NBA for a year, it's better than any TV show you can put together.
Max Malmstrom at the plate. What a great last name. Out of Missouri. I guess you would technically pronounce it Malmstrom, but I like Maelstrom better. Maelstrom, by the way, is a powerful whirlpool. It's also a genre-hopping musical group from Sweden. It's also an Air Force base in Montana. I like Maelstrom, but it's Malmstrom.
Yeah.
Malmstrom. He's got a 1-1 count here against Kramer. Misses arm side. Count now 1-2.
That's a called strike there.
Wow. I think the batter's really confused. Yeah, I think we're going to have to get a clarification here from the wow factor dugout. I mean, literally, it was like falling away to catch that ball. All right, counts 1-2. See if Malmstrom can keep his composure here and try to fight back in this count. Now 1-2 with one down. Swings through that, and he'll go down on strikes. Slams his bat down a little bit in frustration. Taysom Brown now at the plate. 2 down.
Be a really good job here if he can get out of this bases loaded, nobody out jam.
Brown at the plate. Trinity Christian Academy in Florida. He's got that one in play. Shortstop has it this time. Throws on the run, and they're able to get out of it. Makes up for that bit of a issue he had earlier as he fell down on second base and brings it into the inning. USA Prime continues to lead 5-0. Great job, Avery Hunt. As always, you're watching the Youth Cup. We'll be back with more from LakePoint Sports.
We're here at LakePoint Sports, the site of the first Curve Test Center. There will be lots of Curve Test Centers, but this will always be the first. And why are we here? Here for a couple of reasons. One is if you think about the effort players are spending trying to get coaches to notice them, the effort coaches are spending trying to figure out who's actually any good, the poor parents who are sitting there saying, where's my kid headed? This is the answer for all that.
Everyone wants to be seen, right? Sometimes what can be seen is data. So it's hard to get in front of coaches at all these programs at once, or even the school you really want to go to. So using data helps us a ton. And as long as it's reliable and there's something that can give us better information with the small sample size is what we're looking for.
Curve Test Center is redefining player and performance data when it comes to evaluation and recruiting. Test your athletic, cognitive, and baseball skills with TrackMan, Proteus, and more. Visit at the Bubble here on the LakePoint Sports Campus or go to curvetestcenter.com. Don't miss this chance to level up your game. Welcome back to LakePoint Sports, the Youth Cup, where USA Prime National has a 5-0 lead over a Wow Factor National. Grayson Rosen now joining me here in studio. Wyatt Gordon's last AB delivered something we have seen very rarely here at LakePoint Sports, a broken bat. 58.8 off the bat. When he dropped into the left field, was wondering what in the world was going on, but that bat was indeed left broken. Grayson got a great shot as we cut to that now.
Yeah.
Man, see that bat shattering. Unbelievable shot.
Yeah, and it's a one-piece bat as well, and it broke in the middle of his hands there. I've got the zoomed-in version, and that little piece right there is what holds it together in the handle, and that piece broke on the inside as well and fell out of the bat. The barrel went all the way up to like the pitcher's mound. It was unreal, and you could tell he was pretty upset with it
but
breaking, obviously.
Unbelievable strength there from Wyatt Gordon from Rancho Bernardo in California, 2029. But yeah, we've seen the two-piece bats break. I mean, Matthew Sharman from Etowah here during the battle for Bartow had a two-piece bat. His dad brought over and showed me that it was broken, but a one-piece bat? I mean, that's some serious strength from Wyatt Gordon. And he is now at the plate. See what he's got in store this time. Got a different bat in his hand, obviously.
Yeah, he was using an Atlas, and he walked back in the dugout and was like, "Anybody have an Atlas that I could use?" So I can't quite tell, but he might have one.
Well, I think he should get a free bat. I think that should be what happens. Now got an 0-2 count as he starts off this inning. Gordon will be followed by C.J. Meyer and Zaylon Johnson. Prime National leads 5-0 here in the third. You were down on the field there early. I thought Adam Kramer looked really good on the mound. He ran into some trouble in the bottom of the second. They were able to work through it. Largely, that came from a misplay by the shortstop. They were able to rebound there as well. But what did you like about Kramer on the mound?
Yeah, I think he just moved well, and he's just continued. Nothing changed. Every single time, didn't matter what was happening, nothing changed with how he was kind of approaching things. And I think that's going to keep you in a game for a while and going to keep your head pretty level as you go on.
I mentioned Gordon 1 for 1 today. He's driven in 1 run.
It was even more amazing to see that ball get through the infield and reach and score that run.
Well, when I saw a little bit into how the sausage is made, the camera system here is AI. So we are actually in our studio, and the scoreboard is about 10 seconds faster than what we see here on camera. So when I saw the exit velo readout at 58.8, I thought it was a little bit of a nub shot back to the pitcher and was going to be easy ground ball back. But then I saw something in the infield, and it wasn't a ball. And then you see the actual ball going to left field. So, man, that was a crazy. I'm sure Wyatt Gordon's going to be replaying that moment a ton. That one is now headed the opposite direction, about the exact same spot. He put it in the left field, and he's going to take off for second. Is he going to get there? Not out at third, and Gordon will be holding at second, now 2 for 2 on the day.
Yeah, good work by Gordon to get to second, and I don't blame them for trying to test the arm out there. That was a great throw, though, out of right field to get the out.
So 2 hits now for Gordon, leads the team in that category.
Yeah, I think if he wanted to make it to third there, he was going to have had a much better jump off of that bloop single from Gordon.
And he's going to be replaced by a pinch runner.
I think that is still. I think he might have been swapping out some equipment.
All right. Well, he made. I thought he was getting. They were getting. Yeah, that is indeed still Wyatt Gordon at first. C.J. Meyer now at the plate. There's a Meyer and a Myers on this team. And looking at the lineup, couldn't tell which one it was. So the first time he came up to the plate, we were actually calling him Knox Myers, but this is C.J. Meyer. C.J. Meyer sends that to the second baseman, gathers, throws in time for the out. And that will now bring up So, that's going to be Zaylin Johnson now at the plate. 2 down here in the inning. Cole Wethington coming in relief. He's thrown 18 pitches so far. Took over for Robert Wade. It's in for a strike.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed about USA Prime is they're not really too worried about getting, aggressive early in these at-bats. Kind of all game. They've been waiting on their pitches and forcing these wow factor pitchers to really put up some volume every inning, and that's going to be a huge part of getting through a game, is just constantly making a team run up the pitch count and make early changes like they have is definitely a recipe for success.
Wethington with the 1-1 against Johnson. Swings through that. Carson Coy playing shortstop, can't even barely read the number with the amount of hair he has. So.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's the most impressive head of hair I think we've seen here in years at LakePoint. It's a lot to maintain. Speaking of someone who would like a little bit of that back, but...
I mean, I think that's a bit of a big jump. If you had that,
well, I don't
go
need
from
that
where
much,
you're at right now.
No, that would be a little crazy, right? That would be like almost like Rastafarian if I was to do that. Yeah, here comes the 1-2.
I think you could pull it off.
Yeah. Dribbles foul.
I think Major Sears had some hair that I could respect as well. I
Yeah,
think that's
yeah.
what it was. It was up to bat while I was out there taking some photos. Very similar hair to mine, for those that can't quite tell on these cameras.
I think the Grant Holmes is like when we're getting a little bit too long.
Yeah, I've been there before. Unfortunately, I've looked back at photos that people have taken of me during the time where like my hair was the longest, and I'm like, I don't know why I ever let myself do that. I mean, right now it's getting a little long.
Well, I think more so for sports. It's like you just, just becomes
at some point you gotta tie it up or something.
Yeah. Count now 2-2 here to Johnson.
And there's not really a good way to do it for a baseball player. When you got to wear the hat, there's not a good way to pull your hair together when it's that long with the baseball hat on.
Yeah, I think oftentimes hair that is bigger than the hat in volume or too long past the neck, it just makes it can make it difficult with playing baseball. Especially with the volume of it. We've seen some guys here that have, big heads of hair.
The case for somebody on USA Prime. I wasn't sure exactly who it was. I didn't see their number, but he had quite the head of hair, and his hat just kind of rests on top. And I think he kind of tucked some hair into the hat to make it stay on his head. It looked very impressive.
You almost at some point think they're going to be like clips. They're going to have to like clip
a
it
lot
in
of
place,
a lot of people do. A lot of people do that have that. Like a bigger.
Is that what you think Coco Crisp did that? Because remember he used to have like the full on
and that was similar to the player from USA Prime. I'm not sure who it was though.
Johnson skies this. Who's got it? Second baseman camps underneath it, and he will bring it into the inning. USA Prime National continues to lead 5-0. We'll be back with more. You're watching the Youth Cup from LakePoint Sports.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, you'll always find more fun with great brands at the best prices. More of this, and this. So you can get together for a little of that, and a lot more of that. And even some of that, and that's good. Have more fun with great brands at the best prices. Only at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Welcome back. Last batter in the order for Wow Factor National. Frank Knowles III will lead things off, and it's back to Austin Kitchings in the top of the order. Again, Adam Kramer on the mound for USA Prime National. He's thrown 38 pitches so far. His team leads 5-0 here in the bottom of the third inning. Cory, McCartney, Grayson, Rosen with you. It's in for a strike. Frank Knowles, Greater Atlanta Christian, 2029. He's 6 foot, 160 pounds. Again, players from 9 different states make up this Wow Factor National team. 6 different states for USA Prime National.
Oof. Little check swing
foul.
foul.
Check swing foul. Yeah, I always ask these players, that play in these national teams about how difficult it is to build team chemistry. But as you had mentioned, these Prime National teams, team kids seem to have a pretty good rapport with one another.
Yeah, I think a lot of them have already played together in the past, and it seems to have translated over here. And I mean, you can kind of see the chemistry on display right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like a lot of them are familiar with each other, and I think it helps that a lot of this team is made up of Texas and California guys that are probably well acquainted with one another already.
The 0-2 swings through that. Knowles goes down on strikes. When I was doing my interview with Dylan Mercado, when he walked over, the guy said traffic, and I said, well, "What's traffic?" And he said, "They told me they want me to work the word traffic into the interview." So
okay.
So we had gotten to a point, and he didn't do it. So I had asked him. I said, what do you feel like your role is when there's traffic on the base pass and you're trying to work, keep this lineup rolling? And he just kind of looked at me and he's like, "Huh?" And I was like, "I'm trying to help you. Like they want you to bring in traffic.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to help you bring the word traffic." And he just laughed. And I said, "We'll cut that part out." But then I bring it up on the broadcast,
well,
so it's out there anyway. But that kind of, I think, speaks to the chemistry and the rapport that these kids have with one another. That even though it's made up of kids from 6 different states, they kind of have that bond that they they have those things going on, and they're trying to have some fun with one another. And But Dylan was not playing ball. Now he is literally playing ball, though. That miss going to make it 1-2. Meanwhile, Austin Kitchings at the plate. You and I were talking between the innings there that you had a chance to catch up with Austin between these games, and this is a pretty impressive 2029 without question.
Gets strikes out looking right there. But yeah, he's extremely impressive, and just from a long line of athletes, it seems. His dad played in the NFL, and now the offensive coordinator of Virginia. His older brother, a former future gamer, heading to Missouri, and then his sister, maybe the most impressive of the bunch, a back-to-back state champion in long jump, and now a Nike indoor national champion.
Good chance we see her in the LA Olympics in
28.
28, yeah. Now Ian Robinson at the plate. Oh, just misses.
I was about to say, he's got a good handle on that breaking ball right now. That's what he got Kitchings to strike out looking on that last pitch. But
yeah, you almost wonder now if you're the Kitchings family, how many kids can you put in the Olympics?
Yeah, that's true. We'll have baseball in 28. So
can you get Aiden into the U.S. Olympic team as a pitcher?
I don't know. I think we're going to trot out a pretty good squad if we can.
So, yeah.
Not sure what we'll do, though, if it's because that's going to be in the middle of MLB season.
Yeah, no, that's true. Well, they always have that thing, though, where if you have ancestors from another country, that sometimes you can go play for another country that you have some relations to. So I think there's going to be a lot of U.S. baseball players that end up doing that.
Yeah, definitely. In which there was some. Did we have baseball in the last Olympics?
I don't think it was the last one.
There was some kind of national baseball event that we had a team for that wasn't the World Baseball Classic. Maybe it was before it, where we sent a lot of college guys and a few minor league guys. But that was really it.
But even for the World Baseball Classic, I remember Freddie Freeman playing for Canada because his mom's Canadian. So
and he tends
like that.
He kind of claims Canada. It seems.
Yeah, he does. It was a 3-1. Sends that foul.
But yeah, the World Baseball Classic seems to be pretty loose. I mean, the Czech Republic and the Israel teams.
Yeah.
Just it could just be like somebody.
That's
it seems like. I think somebody made the team for Team Israel because their wife was Jewish, I believe was the case, and a number of other players.
So Jewish by association, he was allowed to play.
Yeah,
okay,
I guess so.
Oh man, gets the punch
that was
out
a fantastic inning.
Kramer has just been electric, and man, he just keeps shutting Wow Factor National down. USA Prime Nation leads 5-0. We'll be back with more from the Prep Baseball Youth Cup.
First one I picked up, I just liked it the best. And like I said, I tried a lot of different companies, a lot of different models, and I fell in love with Old Hickory for sure.
Welcome back to LakePoint Sports. Cory McCartney, Grayson, Rosen with you, where USA Prime National has a 5-0 lead over Wow Factor National here in the, what are we now, in the top of the 4th inning. 5 hits on 5 runs for USA Prime National, with just 1 hit for Wow Factor, as Adam Kramer has been fantastic. And speaking of Adam Kramer, he now steps to the plate here to start off this inning. He'll be followed by Major Sears and Jordan Owens. Kramer 1 for 1, also got himself a steal. Stole when the pitcher was literally still standing on the rubber.
Yeah, coming off of striking out the side. And now he's going to come up to the plate and try and continue a good day at the plate, too. He's 1 for 1. Certainly trying to put his name in the hat for player of the game.
Yeah, he'll have certainly an argument if USA Prime National continues to hold this lead and he keeps keeping that Wow Factor lineup in check. He's got a 1-1 count here against Cole Wethington. Wethington, the Kirkwood 2029. Again, goes to CMCSS K-12 Virtual School. Swing and a miss by Kramer. Count now 1-2. I had some fun with Avery Hunt earlier, trying to decipher whether the virtual meant that it was virtually a school or it was a virtual reality school. But I think the big point is that there are so many options now for these kids, that the ones that want to, maybe you don't want to do the academy thing.
Yeah.
You don't want to go to a P27 or, one of those academy schools, TNXL, but you still want to have a lot of what you do revolve around being able to have the luxury to play baseball wherever.
Yeah.
A lot of these schools have given those kids that kind of an option.
Yeah, I think the online modality certainly became popular from COVID, and now it's just a common offering. I mean, there's plenty of kids that are at the high school level across the country that are either taking, partially online schedules or fully online, and like he has, I think it's Clarksville, Tennessee, I think is where he's from, that has that online school as part of their school district.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly, if you're a kid who wants to play high-level travel sports,
it's huge.
It's the way to go, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it gives you the freedom to be like, okay, well, this week I'm playing a tournament in Texas. Next week I'll be in Florida. Week after that I'm in LakePoint. To be able to do that and not have to worry about how you're going to, rework your school schedule and your course load to be able to meet those needs. So it's certainly for a kind of player like Cole Weatherington, this is a big deal. Kramer skies that one. Second baseman camps underneath it and will glove it for the first out.
We've seen some high pop outs in the infield in this game.
So Weatherington gets Kramer to pop out. Now Major Sears steps in.
Yeah, it was definitely Sears that I was talking about with that head of hair.
Yeah.
That I was very impressed by.
Want to get some hair care tips from Major Sears post-game. Swings through that one for a strike. Sears 0 for 1 today. Lake City, Texas, 2028. I would be really interested to know if there's any correlation being in Texas if he's named after Major Applewhite.
Oh, maybe. That would be an interesting one. I don't know if there's a lot of people named after him.
Major Applewhite was a big deal back in the day.
That's true. I think Major is a great name.
It is a great name. You almost want him just to be in the military so he can literally reach that rank and be Major.
True.
It was a 2-1. Goes back foul count now 2-2. He fouled that off, or did he just hit off the top of the catcher's glove?
Yeah, I think it just popped out of the catcher's glove there.
All right, well, regardless, goes back to the backstop and count is 2-2. One down in the inning. One hit so far by Wow Factor, 5 for USA Prime. Gets the punch out. Sears makes his way back to the dugout reluctantly as Weatherington gets him on the K.
Good stuff right there by Weatherington. Seen some good pitching here in the bottom of the third and now the top of the fourth.
Bottom of the order, and this is now Jordan Owens, Glenn High School in Texas for first prep baseball event for this 2029. 5'6", 140-pounder.
And one of the things I love about these games is, especially when we have such talented teams here, is you get guys from prestigious programs from around the country, which is always interesting. The number of guys in this lineup that have, second to drop.
Oh, Owens drops that down, makes his way past first. Helmet goes, and Owens is going to hold it second. No, he's on his way to third. Jordan Owens trucking his way to third. Is he going to hold there? Oh, man, Jordan Owens going to hold at third base. Thought he nearly had himself an inside-the-park home run. His helmet's all the way back between first and second. That thing barely made it around the turn. He's got a pretty good head of hair, too.
I think that might have been who I saw.
All right, well, Jordan Owens' helmet could not contain that speed, and he's now standing at third base with a 2-out triple.
Yeah, that's a great piece of hitting right there. Waiting on his chance and sending one down the line. Surprised that one didn't leave the confines. Luckily, it didn't for him, so he could get to third, but it's a good way to maybe make something happen here when it seemed like you were kind of down on your luck in this top of the fourth.
Jordan, my voice is going with this these allergies, so making me jump on one like that, man. But great shot there by Jordan Owens to get himself a 2-out triple.
Whoa, that was filthy. I don't think Corona saw that one coming at all.
So we got a baseball game going on, obviously, for you right now. A little bit later today, 2:50, we're going to have a broadcast from the Rise Hoops, the 100 Session 1. We're going to have 865 Elite, and they will be taking on Pro 1 basketball. It'll be at 2:50. Have Simone Stanley and Mike Sifrin on the call for that one. Make sure you, as always, can find that on our Facebook, X, and YouTube channels.
Yeah, Weatherington got him down to 0-2 quickly here. See what he brings him here to try and get out of this inning.
Yeah, runner at third. Holds, and Corona does not go. Iker Corona, Henry High School in California, 2029. Primarily a catcher. Man, he rips that down the left side, and that's going to fall, and here comes Owens for another run to make it 6-0 as Corona's now dashing his way to second base with a one RBI double.
Yeah, that's huge there. 2 outs. You had Owen's big triple there to get things rolling, and then you hop on one down 0-2 to make things happen.
So now with a 6-0 lead, Xavier Rodriguez steps to the plate. We're going to get a courtesy runner for the USA Prime catcher.
One of the only Georgia guys out here for USA Prime National out of Archer.
6-0 lead now here in the 4th. Seven hits so far for USA Prime as we sit here in the top of the 4th inning. Got about 25 minutes of game time left on the clock. Another miss from Weddington. Count now 2-0.
You definitely don't want to lose sight here if
Yeah.
you're Weathington.
Yeah, mentioned in Rodriguez's first AB, we had him for the Rising Stars preseason All-State in March. He was also in February's East Georgia Rising Stars event. 6 foot 198.
3-0 count now. See if he gives him something to hit here.
All right, Weathington delivers, does not get the strike call, and Rodriguez makes his way down to first, and that'll bring up Samuel Vatterott. Vatterott 0 for 2.
Gonna have a mound visit. See if maybe a wow factor goes for a change here.
Yeah, Weathington came in relief of Robert Wade. He's gone 2 2.3 so far, and has himself a walk and a strikeout. He's given up 4 hits, 1 run, and it was earned.
You definitely want to keep him out there, and that's what they're going to do because you do not want to exhaust your pitching in a weekend like this with the kind of just constant threats that you're going to be playing against in every game.
Yeah, I didn't look to see how many pitchers Wow Factor had used during the first game they played. DC Fulton won 4-0 in that game.
See what Weathington's got after the meeting for Vatterott.
Misses inside. So Wow Factor National actually just had 1 pitcher through 6 innings, 5 hits, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks, no runs. Obviously winning 4-0 in that first game. So they able to save themselves having to dip into that bullpen as that one is going down the left side. Make his way home. Yeah, here comes another run for USA Prime National. Make it 7-0 as Vatterott delivers an RBI. They continue to build on this lead here in the 4th.
Yeah, that one jumped off the bat, 94.4 straight between third base and short to get that hit.
It was Jace Blair that ended up throwing the complete game shutout for Wow Factor in the first game. So they have not dipped too far into their arsenal of arms in this tournament so far. First hit hits off the third baseman's glove as it goes foul.
I think Mercado's probably glad that one went foul. Yeah. Got one of the best players in the nation out to the plate now with 2 on. And it doesn't seem like they're scared of 2 outs. It's almost making them maybe a little more confident in their approach at the plate right now. We'll see what Mercado's got, see if he can keep running up the score here.
Yeah, Mercado certainly a name to circle when you start looking at those 2029s that could populate near the top of Prep Baseball's rankings. He's 1 for 1 so far.
Good block there behind the plate.
Yeah, Mercado drew a walk in his first trip to the plate. Came through with an RBI in the second. Skies that foul. Wyatt Gordon in the on-deck circles already. Giving us a memorable moment with this broken bat. His first trip to the plate. It's the 1-2 to Mercado. Oh, that's right down
Great
the middle.
pitch.
Yeah, Weathington gets out of trouble, but USA Prime National has extended their lead to 7-0. As we move along, you're watching the Youth Cup from LakePoint Sports.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, you'll always find more fun with great brands at the best prices. More of this, and this. So you can get together for a little of that, and a lot more of that. And even some of that, and that's good. Have more fun with great brands at the best prices. Only at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
We are back. USA Prime National has a 7-0 lead over Wow Factor. Adam Kramer returns on the mound for USA Prime National. He's gone 3 innings so far, just allowed 1 hit, 1 walk, 6 punch-outs.
Yeah, struck out the side last time out to double the strikeout total. We'll see what he can do here in the bottom of the 4th to keep running that number up.
Looked awfully good so far. See how he starts off the 4th inning. Pops that one.
Yeah, that's a tough one for the catcher to play.
Yeah, but Kramer can't get it. It's going to bounce foul.
Good work by Kramer to not accidentally tip that one into fair territory.
That was Anderson McAfee at the plate, and he'll return for another pitch.
Yeah, that's a really difficult one to play with the sun straight up in the air right now. We're approaching noon, so pretty well straight up. Really difficult for the catcher to see.
So Anderson McAfee cashes in one of his 9 lives and counts now 0-1 here to start off the bottom of the 4th. Wow Factor trying to get something started here. They've had just 1 hit so far. McAfee puts that in play. Second baseman running into the outfield, grabs it, now 1 down.
Yeah, that's great work. Tracking that one down, calling off the center fielder as well. It was quite a lot of ground to cover at center. Good job there at second base.
I'm going to bring up Carson Coy. So that was not Carson Coy playing shortstop. As you can see, nowhere near the amount of hair on the batter, but he was listed as shortstop on the initial roster that we were given from Wow Factor.
Big miss right there from
unless his hat he wears in the field, literally like those hair. Like that has the Guy Fieri spiky hair. That's like true. He has one that has like the long hair.
Yeah, I mean, they sell those as well.
They do. I don't know if that's quite what Wow Factor has hooked Carson Coy up with, but he's now at the plate. That would be something.
Definitely would.
Be a decision.
I think there'd be a lot of people unhappy with that, if I had to guess. Kramer kind of just missing the mark here, 2 pitches in a row, which we haven't really seen from him.
So Carson Coy from Benton, Missouri, has a long list of prep baseball events that he's already played in. By the end of the summer, the events that he is signed up for, he will have been in 35 prep baseball events by the end of the summer.
That is unbelievable, especially out of Missouri. I'd expect it from a Georgia guy.
Yeah, well, he's doing a lot of the KC stuff. So he's doing a lot. This is the only thing on his schedule, at least right now, here at LakePoint Sports.
Wow.
See if that changes for Carson Coy. Got himself a walk here with 1 out.
He hesitated there. Didn't want to be the guy.
Because he just heard me potentially mention this might be the only time he plays at LakePoint Sports, so he doesn't want the AB to end.
There's plenty more years, though.
That is true. Brian Ward now at the plate. Union Grove, 2028, 6'1", 210-pound righty. Talk about a guy who steps in and just has a presence.
Yeah, with that kind of frame, I think you kind of always have to know that there's something threatening here.
There's just an assuredness when he steps in. Some guys just kind of have that, with Dylan Mercado and I were talking about that mature approach at the plate. Brian Ward certainly has that at his size.
Yeah, definitely a good time to go out and talk with Adam Kramer and just calm him down a little bit. The pitches are just getting a little wild right now.
Well, look, no matter, we saw Brian Ward nearly go a yard in his last game against DC Fulton, but no matter what he does here, it's not going to change the fact that there's a sizable lead for USA Prime.
Yeah, USA Prime, right now you're thinking, can we get this offense up and try and score some more runs, maybe get out of here early? They've certainly taken their time to get to this point in the game.
Speaking of time, we've got about 15 minutes remaining on the clock.
It looks like things just wrapped up over there on field 11, so you can assume that there's some good outcome for one team in East Cobb versus Smart Tents.
3-0 count now to Ward. He'll be followed by Sam Lerner.
See if Kramer can reel things back here.
60 pitches thus far for Kramer. Another walk. So walks Coy, walks Ward, and now here comes Sam Lerner.
Got to take off the catcher's gear.
Yeah, believe that is going to be the end of the day for Adam Kramer. We'll see.
This is their first official mound visit from the coach this inning, so we'll see what the decision is. I think you're fortunate enough to have a sizable lead and a lot more of a body of work that Kramer's put on display already in this game to say that, you know what, we can give you the shot.
Yeah, he's been able to work his way out of trouble multiple times. Is evident by Wow Factor having just one hit and no runs.
Yeah, and you give yourself a chance to send somebody out to the bullpen to get warmed up if they haven't already.
All right, Adam Kramer will continue. He's got Sam Lerner, who's 0 for 1.
Is this 8 straight balls we've gotten?
Yep.
These 2 walks?
Yeah.
So definitely looking for a fresh start here coming out of the mound visit.
Well, let's see if that is the reset that Kramer needs. Runners at first and second. Another ball. He goes try it again. That one misses low. Count now 2-0. Make that 10 straight.
It's getting closer. We started that. It looks like they're going to call it there.
All right, so that's going to be the end of the day for Adam Kramer. Ends up going 3 1/3, 1 hit, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, and a big 0 in the runs total for Wow Factor National so far. There's a new pitcher for USA Prime National. We'll tell you about him when we come back from LakePoint Sports.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
Is Cash Nickerson, 2029, on his way to Swanee High School in Florida. First prep baseball event for the 6'2", 190-pound righty. We got him with a fastball up around 78. See what he has in store here as he picks up a 2-0 count against Sam Lerner. One out here in the inning. 2 runners on for Wow Factor as they try to eat into this 7-0 lead. The USA Prime Nationals extended. We got about 11 minutes left on the clock.
Got some big wind right there that just blew the hat of Jordan Owens seemingly across the whole infield.
I think you mentioned Jordan Owens' hat was barely sitting on his head to begin with.
Yeah, so that probably is.
Just needs a small wind. It is National Wind Day. I'm not sure if you heard.
Oh, I didn't know
Avery
that,
Hunt and I talking about that.
I saw the cameras shaking. You must have.
Yeah, well, we're celebrating.
It, yeah.
We celebrate almost every day here at LakePoint Sports. We celebrate National Wind Day until it's about late July, early August when you want it to be Wind Day, and it does not exist.
That is very true. Certainly a tough spot he came into.
All right, you know what?
Hey,
you know what? If you're going to miss and then run the count to 3-0 and then have to throw that fourth pitch to walk him, you just hit the guy and then take him to first base. And now the bases are loaded for Wow Factor National as he's aboard via the hit by pitch. Sam Lerner is, and Braden McMillan now at the plate.
Certainly their best run-scoring opportunity with just one out here and the bases loaded.
First pitch swinging, McMillan skies that one into the outfield. Right fielder camps underneath. He has it. Runner tagging up for third, and he will easily be in for a first run. They got a run down between second and third. Throw over to third. They got the runner. Wow Factor National gets on the board, but 2 outs are now recorded by USA Prime National and make it 7. Well, we're counting the run, right?
7-1.
Should be 7-1. Yeah, it should be pointing down at home plate to notate that run is counted. 7-1. We'll be back with more from the Youth Cup.
We're here at LakePoint Sports, the site of the first Curve Test Center. There will be lots of Curve Test Centers, but this will always be the first. And why are we here? Here for a couple of reasons. One is think about the effort players are spending trying to get coaches to notice them. The effort coaches are spending trying to figure out who's actually any good. The poor parents who are sitting there saying, where's my kid headed? This is the answer for all that.
Everyone wants to be seen, right? Sometimes what can be seen is data. So it's hard to get in front of coaches at all these programs at once, or even the school you really want to go to. So using data helps us a ton. And as long as it's reliable and there's something that can give us better information with the small sample size is what we're looking for.
Curve Test Center is redefining player and performance data when it comes to evaluation and recruiting. Test your athletic, cognitive, and baseball skills with TrackMan, Proteus, and more. Visit at the Bubble or sign up now at curvetestcenter.com. Don't miss this chance to level up your game. Welcome back. 7-1 now the scores. Wow Factor National got themselves on the board in the 4th inning, but time a huge factor now. We've got about 6 minutes left on the clock. Going to need a very quick inning here as Wow Factor is the home team, but see how much longer they get a chance they definitely do not want to see any more runs scored by USA Prime, who's already up 6.
Yeah, Wethington had some issues in that last inning, but they let him continue. Just got a foul ball in the field, but they let Wethington continue on the mound. We're going to see if he can continue to bounce back. He bounced back well after the mountain visit and kind of shortened up the hurt there, but we'll see what he can do here in the top of the 5th, trying to get through a quick inning and set up his offense to get things rolling late.
It'll be Wyatt Gordon, C.J. Meyer, and Zaylon Johnson at the plate for USA Prime in this inning.
Yeah, in the break we were talking about, I don't know if anybody else has looked at or tuned into these broadcasts before, but I love bringing up notable alumni of high school. It's one of my favorite things to do. And Rancho Bernardo High School in California, where Wyatt Gordon is going to be attending, the former high school of Cole Hamels, which is obviously a big one baseball-wise, and then Tom DeLong from Blink-182. So big baseball fan as well. Big Padres fan.
Wethington working quickly here against Gordon. When I was covering the Braves, I was on hand for the combined no-hitter that Cole Hamels was part of for the Phillies against the Braves. I'd never seen pitchers just so, unexcited about having been part of a no-hitter. I think that's got to be
Combined is a little bit tougher.
Yeah. I think Hamels was just kind of
yeah, he had a good day.
Did my thing, handed it off to those guys.
Cole Hamels is one of those guys that was just sneakily a Brave.
Yeah. Yeah, he cashed in.
Yeah.
Was that $35 million he got?
He got
one-year
paid.
Deal? Yeah.
Was that 2020?
I believe so, yeah. And then he only pitched a handful of innings.
Imagine if Felix Hernandez would have come up off that minor league deal as well. We would have had a legendary pitching staff.
Right.
All at the back.
Well, and even if you could have taken R.A. Dickey and Bartolo Colon and all those guys that they had in that era that they kind of were latching on to as they worked the young guys up through the system.
Hey, I'll say it. Bartolo Colon was really good, even in Atlanta.
Sure.
Even he was 40 pitching in Atlanta, and he was great. Slow windup from Wethington there, and misses high on the 1-2.
Yeah, just looking this up, speaking of that era of Braves pitching, Giancarlo Stanton, I was sitting in the press box watching Giancarlo Stanton hit a ball off R.A. Dickey off a 78-mile-an-hour knuckleball. In the center field of Truist Park, it said that brick building in the back that says Orvis on it.
Yeah.
He hit it off the facade of that. It went 477 feet.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That takes some work.
Yeah.
To hit off of a knuckleball like that.
And that is the further. I mean, we were all sitting in the press box watching it, and just was like, man, this is insane. But certainly with the All-Star game coming to Atlanta, I think we're going to see some eerily similar shots coming here soon. Stanton should enter, and he should ask R.A. Dickey to throw him.
That'd be great. You've got to be so confident in your ability to hit off of knuckleballs in the home run derby.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you can hit one 477 feet, then bring it.
I mean, I don't think R.A. Dickey's up to throwing 78 with the knuckleball now, though.
No.
I think that's the biggest problem there. What are your opinions? I know we're about to see the conclusion of this at bat, so I'll hold the question, see what Wethington has here on 3-2.
We now got Carson Coy pitching, by the way.
Change
over for wow factor here in this inning.
Wyatt Gordon continuing to keep himself alive here in this at bat.
Yeah, Carson Coy, as I mentioned, the long list of prep baseball events he will have been in. He just keeps it. I said he wanted to stay up there when it was 3-0. He wanted that AB to continue. Now he's worked himself onto the mound here, getting a chance to see what he can do in the 5th for wow factor, and issues a walk to Gordon to start off this inning.
So I was going to ask you what your opinions are on the home run derby. You think you should go back to outs, or do we like it as a stamina thing with the time?
Yeah, I'd rather it be outs. I don't need to see a guy's endurance in terms of hitting a home run.
That's my thing is I don't care to see him hit a ton of them back to back over and over and over again, or not hit them for a long stretch and then start going at the end or start off.
I think
nothing.
The problem with making it on outs is you put so much more stress on the pitcher than you do on the hitter.
Oof.
Yeah, Coy hits the batter, so it'll be runners at first and second now as C.J. Meyer makes his way down to first, because you just everything has to be perfect. And if the guy's foul him off, or he gets underneath one,
it makes you more selective, which
is
an attribute of a good hitter. I think my thing is that I know for a fact that they moved it to time limit so that for broadcasting purposes and media purposes, which is how everything works now in sports. Just about anything that you watch on TV has been manipulated some way to make their broadcasting deal better.
Well, that way everything fits into these
exactly.
distinct sections, so you can sell advertising revenue, and
that's where the money's made. So you can't blame them, but it certainly affects the products we're able to see, and I think that's a big thing that I think we miss out on. I think the Home Run Derby is nowhere near as exciting as when it was an out system.
Got Wyatt Gordon at second, C.J. Meyer at first, and Zaylon Johnson at the plate for USA Prime National, who leads 7-1. Go and have a word with the crew here as Wow Factor tries to stop this lead from getting any more sizable for Prime National. Yeah, I was fortunate enough to cover the All-Star game in Cincinnati. Watch Todd Frazier win that Home Run Derby.
That was a great Home Run Derby.
The Home Run Derby is more fun as a media person to go to than the actual All-Star game.
Sure. I'm not surprised by that.
And then you sit around and you wait for the people that you're covering to play.
Yeah.
And in that case, Shelby Miller, another throwback Braves.
Loved Shelby Miller.
Shelby was the lone Braves representative, and he didn't get in the game. So then you go down to the locker room and you talk to a guy who didn't get into the game.
Yeah. You're like, what was it like sitting in the dugout?
Yeah, who's not thrilled that he didn't get in.
Yeah.
But you understand the managers have to hold some of the pitchers back.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many starters and relievers. You've got,
and then if you go extra
staff
innings,
of like 12.
And then if you go extra innings, what are you going to do? You got to at least shield yourself. Some guys are not going to play. It's just a reality of the situation.
Yeah, there's just not enough outs in a game for that many people.
7-1 lead for USA Prime. Coy misses glove side. Counts now 2-1 to Zaylon Johnson.
Wow Factor certainly. Kind of just looking for desperate outs now. You want to get out of this as soon as possible. You're already over the time limit, so they're going to get their chance in the bottom of the fifth, but you'd like it to be with a manageable 6-run deficit than something worse. A little bit of a conversation between the umpire and the batter about calling time and when you're allowed to.
It always seems to be a point of contention with young players. I think they just see it at so many levels and don't know that it's at the umpire's discretion, not the batter's, whether or not time is being called.
We got 3-1 now. See what he's got to offer.
Again, you got runners at first and second. Nobody out. Coy in the mound. Johnson at the plate. Another walk, and that's going to bring up Adam Kramer with nobody out and the bases loaded.
Kramer had a good day on the mound.
Actually, we have a change. Will not be Adam Kramer, so Kramer's day is over. We're going to have a new batter now. This is going to be Vincent Pollock from Stratford High School in Texas. I believe you had a nugget on Stratford.
Yeah. That's the former high school of Andrew Luck. Obviously, if you go to like any high school in Texas, there's probably an NFL player that played there.
Oh, man, cannot glove it.
Still got the out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was able to tag third. Did they get the runner at third? They did get the runner at third, but a run was able to score, and we have Pollock standing at first base as he put the first ball in play.
Yeah, it was a really tricky one for the third baseman.
Yeah.
He had kind of a chopper ground ball that he had to field really high.
I mean, that could have been triple play opportunity there if they would have played it right, but nonetheless, Vincent Pollock standing at first base, and another run is scored for USA Prime National. Major Sears at the plate again. Sears 0 for 2.
USA Prime trying to keep running it up. Make sure that even if something does go awry in the bottom of the fifth here, you hold on to a victory. And run differential is certainly a big factor in these weekend tournaments.
Cory with the 0-1, sends that foul. Yeah, Wow Factor won their first game 4-0 over DC Fulton. That's the same team that USA Prime will get a shot at after this game. They play at noon. Well, they were supposed to play at noon. I'm sure that one's going to start a little bit closer to 1. Misses on the 0-2. I never envy Avery Hunt for the way they have to work the schedule around as we inevitably have these issues as the day wears on.
Yeah, I mean, even with the game before this with Wow Factor and DC Fulton, it was a low-scoring game. I mean, what, it was 4-0 was the final? But it still ended up running about 15 minutes long, and it's just yet another thing that adds a wrinkle into the schedule here, especially in a weekend like this where everything is so jam-packed. I mean, you're going to have games going on probably until midnight tonight. And then everybody who won is back here on Sunday.
1-2 count to Sears. Make that 2-2. 8-1 lead for Wow Factor. They scored, for USA Prime. They scored 3 runs in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the fourth, and another so far here in the fifth. I'll be glad to have this allergy fog away.
That's what I had all of last week.
I feel like my brain's not functioning like it normally does.
Yeah.
But we're gutting our way through this one. We're watching USA Prime Nationals lineup. Put on a pretty good show. Well, their pitching staff hasn't been bad either. Kramer went 3 1/3, allowed just 1 hit. Nickerson took over and got him through the last portion of the game. See if he comes back out for the bottom of this inning.
Unfortunately for Wow Factor, that bottom of the inning just does not feel like it's anywhere close to you.
Sears just staying alive. He sends that one foul. Already seen 23 pitches for Coy so far in this inning.
Yeah, certainly been a battle for him. See what Sears has to offer here with a full count. Another foul ball.
8-1 lead for USA Prime. That one's in the dirt. Going to walk in, another run. I believe the bases were loaded. Yeah.
I thought
now we got the bases loaded. See if that's going to be it for Caden Coy. Wow Factor is going to get a chance, but unfortunately, they're watching the lead be extended here in the 5th inning. Caden Coy's day is going to be over with. We'll be back with more. You're watching the Youth Cup from LakePoint Sports.
Just burgers? It's just boring. Get your sausage on and keep it juicy.
Boogie woogie jam slam, bust the dialect. I'm the man and command. Come flow with the sounds of the mighty.
Back to LakePoint Sports, USA Prime National. Wow Factor National is our matchup here. Got an 8-1 lead for USA Prime as we're rolling along. Cory McCartney, Grayson, Rosen with you. Seen a really great USA Prime lineup put on a show so far. Their pitching staff has been up to the task. They've allowed just 1 run on 1 hit so far for Wow Factor. Wow Factor, meanwhile, trying to work their way to the bottom of the 5th inning here and see if they can eat into this lead. Because even if they can't get themselves a victory, as you mentioned, run differential, a big factor as we sit here in pool play. Going to be a new pitcher on the mound for Wow Factor, and this is going to be Ian Robinson is going to be the new pitcher for Wow Factor. Robinson, 5'9", 130-pound righty from Parrish, Florida. He's got Jordan Owens to the bottom of the lineup, and then we flip it over to Iker Corona for Prime National.
Yeah, Wow Factor, once things get underway, just hoping for quick outs if possible. Trying to bring themselves up with any shred of a chance to come back in this game.
All right, Owens is 2 for 2. Had himself a triple in his last trip to the plate. Lost his helmet somewhere between first and second. Eight hits, 8 runs for USA Prime. All right, Robinson ready to go.
First pitch, a little bit too inside.
Comes a 1-0 to Owens, puts that one in play. Shortstop has it. Can he make the play? Flips the third in. Oh, it gets away from the third baseman. So another run is scored for USA Prime, make it 9-1. Just couldn't glove that throw over, so there'll be a runner at first, second, and third, so base is juiced. So we move along and get to the top of the order and Iker Corona.
That's a super tough play to make there at short, and especially trying to get up and make the right throw there. He just kind of a late release on the toss and sent it down to the ground.
Knew right where to go with the ball, but unfortunately could not be gloved, and now the lead is 9-1 USA Prime National. Corona 1 for 2. First pitch goes foul. Corona, Henry High School in California. You got anything on Henry High School in California?
I don't think so. I don't think they had anybody that stuck out to me on the list.
Well, Iker Corona will try to make that him. He's got an 0-1 count here, 1 down in the inning. Dribbler goes foul.
Yeah, the way I go about it is I just pull up the Wikipedia page for whatever high school.
That's a good play.
Go to the notable alumni list if they have one, and if any name sticks out to me, I'll put it down. I'm sure there's a number of players that have come out that have had professional careers or maybe not even in sports, but none of them at least caught my radar.
Well, I think if anybody's listening out there, we should run some kind of a test here, and we should just go to every high school we can think of and drop one name into every one of those and make it just. And then you're going to keep thinking, I thought this guy went to that school.
I mean, theoretically, you can do that on Wikipedia. You'll probably get your account banned, and it will get corrected, but
it might live long enough to rankle your research.
Yeah. Also, shout out to the people that just run Wikipedia for free. How amazing is that?
They just didn't want your donations once a year.
Yeah, well, all the time.
Yeah. Wild pitch. Runners are all going to retreat. Man, we nearly had a traffic jam there between second and third.
Probably smart to hold back on it. Bounced off the backstop pretty well, and the catcher corralled it pretty quickly.
All right, counts now 2-2 to Corona.
Yeah, lucky for USA Prime, no damage there. Everybody just retreats safely.
All right, there's 1 down in the inning. No one misses. Count is now full. Bases are loaded. Nowhere to put him. Comes a 3-2. Robinson misses, and here comes a 10th run for USA Prime. Bring up Xavier Rodriguez.
Catcher's going to go out and have a word with his pitchers. Once again, trying to find a way out of this situation that they found themselves in here in the top of the 5th. Great work, though, by USA Prime. Not just giving up, not being okay with just a 7-1 lead and extending things, making it that much harder for Wow Factor to come back and hopefully helping out their own seeding as they head into the bracket play potentially this afternoon or tomorrow.
Yeah, Rodriguez at the plate, 0 for 2 today. The Archer 2029. First pitch in play, third baseman has it. Tags third. Run will score, though, for USA Prime, make it 11-1.
Shortstop and third base getting a lot of action here.
Awfully busy.
Now you got your second out, so things maybe look a little bit easier. There's some hope in sight in this top of the 5th.
All right, Samuel Vatterott now at the plate.
He smoked the ball the last time he was up. I believe that was that hit out into left field for, I think it was 94.4 off the bat. So
yeah, he's 1 for 3.
Looking to come back with something.
Miss on that one, glove side. Betterod gets on. We'll see Dylan Mercado and then Wyatt Gordon. 10-run lead now for USA Prime here in the 5th. Another miss. There have been 7 walks issued by Wow Factor in this game. Just 3 for USA Prime National. Another miss, now 3-0. Another miss, another run for USA Prime National. They keep the chain going. I thought we had the bases loaded. Yeah, the bases loaded.
No, they got that play out at
you're
third.
right, yeah. I've been in this, like, I guess I've just been.
It just kind of feels like bases are loaded.
It's been a long inning.
Yeah.
All right, it's now still 11-1, 2 down.
Miss low there.
Got Dylan Mercado at the plate, Wyatt Gordon in the on-deck circle. Ian Robinson has come in relief in this inning. Here he's at the 1-0 to Mercado, who's 1 for 2 so far. Another miss now, 3-0. Making another walk, and now here comes another run for USA Prime. So just a little bit ahead of myself. It is now 12-1. 2 down in the inning. Factor just needs to get out of this and see if they can do anything offensively in the bottom of the inning again. We've said it a couple times, even if they can't get back and get a win, they still need to do the best they can. They had a 4-0 run differential in that first game, so they need to try to build on that as they try to work their way into a good spot in this bracket. So whatever they can do offensively in the bottom of this inning is going to be helpful. So we're going to have a pitching change for Wow Factor. We'll be back with more. You're watching the Youth Cup from LakePoint Sports.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, you'll always find more fun with great brands at the best prices. More of this, and this. So you can get together for a little of that, and a lot more of that. And even some of that, and that's good. Have more fun with great brands at the best prices. Only at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Great weekend of baseball here at LakePoint Sports with the Prep Baseball Tournament's Youth Cup. We've got our game of the day between USA Prime National and Wow Factor National. USA Prime has extended their lead to 12-1 as we sit here in the 5th inning. Wow Factor will get a chance to try to eat into that advantage in the bottom of the inning. We are all timed out on the clock. Wow Factor made a pitching change. They're going to turn things over to Brian Ward to try to get out of this inning and get that Wow Factor National lineup a chance here in the bottom of this frame. So far, USA Prime has 8 hits to just 1 by Wow Factor. Brian Ward, get a look at him right there, the righty from Union Grove here in Georgia. 6'1", 210-pounder.
Yeah, we talked about how every time he steps in the box, he's certainly got the frame where you just have to assume something's going to happen. And up on the mound. On the mound, you can kind of assume that he's got something to bring.
Yeah, looking at the early warm-up pitches for him so far, I think we've seen some off-speed stuff in the 60s. We'll see what he's pushing up in terms of the fastball. But he's going to have Wyatt Gordon at the plate with 2 down. Wyatt Gordon, if you missed it, broke his metal bat in his first AB, which was something we have rarely seen here at LakePoint Sports. Grayson got a fantastic photo of it.
Looks like we're going to get things underway here.
All right, here we go. So our inning continues. Wyatt Gordon at the plate, 2 down. 12-1 lead for USA Prime.
There's that fastball at 77, just missed low. If you're USA Prime, you probably right now, no matter who the pitcher is, you just go to the plate just being patient, letting something come to you.
Another miss. Count is now 2-0 to Gordon. He's 2 for 2 today.
I think it would be interesting to go back and just see how many strikes have been thrown in this inning. I mean, USA Prime being as patient as ever in just about every at-bat they've had.
Yeah, certainly raising up the pitch count in this inning for sure. Gordon right back up the middle. Got himself 1 run scored. Here comes another for Wyatt Gordon, and now he's got 3 RBIs on the day to go with 3 hits.
Yeah, he is having a huge day at the plate. Shout out to Wyatt Gordon. Continues running up the score here. 14-1 now.
Yeah, what a huge day for Gordon. 3 for 3, 3 runs driven in. Also had a walk. Scored a run.
Well, that one gets away from the catcher. Going to have another run come across, make it 15-1 now, top of the 5th.
And we'll have Gordon standing at second base.
Just catching no breaks right now, Wow Factor National.
C.J. Meyer at the plate. Meyer is 0 for 1. Sends that one back foul. We're going to have some interesting choices to make for player of the game, which we'll do that at the conclusion of this game and grab an interview with that player as well that you'll be able to find on all of our social media channels. Meyer rips that one down in the gap in right center.
That's trouble.
Yeah, Gordon is going to make his way home. Meyer lost his helmet. He's trucking all the way to third base. Is going to make it in time. He will, as the throw is gingerly thrown back to the shortstop. C.J. Meyer gets himself an RBI triple and just extends this lead for USA Prime National.
That's some very, very impressive stuff there, hitting-wise. 2 straight hits, 88 up the middle. That one a little more elevated, gets into the gap, rolls to the wall, and he rolls into third base.
Make it 16-1 here in the 5th inning.
A lot of helmets falling off between first and second here for USA Prime.
That's been prime location for losing your lid. Jordan Owens and C.J. Meyer have both done so. All right, Zaylin Johnson's turn.
Been a long inning here for both sides. Maybe a little bit longer if you're Wow Factor.
Ward misses there to make it 1-0. Saw Cash Nickerson coming in relief for Prime National a long time ago in the bottom of the 4th inning. We'll see what they do pitching-wise to finish this thing off. That one is going to be down, so Johnson's got a base hit, and another run scores for USA Prime.
I mean, even since they've gotten to 2 outs, they have continued to just have such a level-headed approach at the plate. They're not getting too aggressive. Sure, they're getting hits earlier in the at-bats now, but I think it's also just a matter of seeing strikes. And now that they're seeing strikes, they're still working with it well and just going to continue to run it up.
Vincent Pollock comes in. Pollock took over for Adam Kramer, who started out on the mound. And Pollock took his place in the order, and he's first pitch swinging. Yeah, I think they watched so many guys get walked, and now they're seeing strikes. There's an aggressiveness without question with this Wow Factor. This Wow Factor defense is having to deal with now. All right, counts now 1-1 here to Pollock. Major Sears is the next hitter in line for USA Prime. Pollock, but that's in play. Second baseman has it, throws in time, and the inning comes to an end, but USA Prime National has scored 10 runs in this inning. They lead 17-1 as we go down to the bottom of the fifth. Wow Factor going to get their last chance, and that'll be the end of this one. We'll be back with more from LakePoint Sports.
Next. Next. Stop.
You got it?
No. Keep going.
Again.
Next. Next.
If you don't pick one,
you have time. Am I keeping you from your job? Next. I don't even know where I am anymore. Stop.
Do we finally have it?
Let's go back to the beginning.
Are you
Your
joking?
electric future customized. The fully electric Audi Q4 e-tron.
Making every second count. That is how I live. And this is how I hydrate. Body Armor Sport Water. Water for the athlete in all of us.
This is ready to go online. Any questions?
Yeah, I got one. How about the best network imaginable? Let's invent that.
That's what we do here.
Quick survey. Who wants their internet to work pretty much everywhere?
And it needs to run smooth, like super smooth.
Hey, should you be drinking that?
It's decaf.
Because we're busy women.
We don't have time for lag or buffering. Who doesn't want internet that helps AI do your homework even faster?
Come again?
Sorry, what was that?
Introducing the next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. The future starts now.
Welcome back to LakePoint Sports all weekend long. It's a Prep Baseball Tournament's Youth Cup. Got USA Prime National and Wow Factor National in our game of the day. We've seen USA Prime's lineup just absolutely explode. They scored 10 runs in the fifth inning to extend their lead to 17-1. Wow Factor has 1 run on 1 hit, but they need to eat into this lead in some way, shape, or form to try to increase their odds of a good placement in the bracket when that comes out. They won earlier today 4-0 against DC Fulton, so we'll see what they can do. They'll again have Cash Nickerson on the mound for USA Prime. It'll be Tyson Brown, Frank Knowles III, and Austin Kitchings here for Wow Factor in the bottom of the fifth.
Yeah, kind of just I don't know what the approach is here in the bottom of the fifth, down 16 runs. Do you just try and find it where you can find it, or do you be aggressive and try and make things happen quickly? Oh, there's something.
Oh, man, absolutely rips that. That's down into left field for a base hit, so a leadoff single to start things off as Brown rips that into left field.
That's a great start.
I would say that you would tell everybody you can't change the game on one swing, but when you see a hard hit ball like that, that can certainly get a lineup going.
Oh, yeah.
All right, now Frank Knowles III.
Not sure why our scoreboard has 1 out, but there is no outs in this inning, to our knowledge.
I'm sure Wow Factors felt like they've been playing with an additional out on the board for a little bit of this game as they're down 17-1, but they have a chance to get something going. Knowles sends the first one foul.
The first batter popped out.
So
sorry. There was a pop out, and we started late.
Okay.
So, yeah,
all right. So we were a little bit.
There is one
we were
out.
a tiny bit back late with our broadcast, so there is indeed 1 out. Knowles skies that one in right field. Right fielder has it, and the runner will retreat to first.
So now it is down to 2 outs with that fly out.
All right. So now they are down to their last chance. And Austin Kitching steps in, the leadoff hitter. See, the wind has picked up considerably. See Kitching's jersey flapping.
With where that wind's blowing, makes it difficult to really elevate anything out into the outfield.
Kitchen's first pitch swinging, puts that in play. Third baseman has it, gathers,
speed.
throws in time. A very quick finale to this one. USA Prime National wins 17-1 over Wow Factor National. We're going to talk player of the game more when we come back. You're watching the Youth Cup from LakePoint Sports.
Where's it written? Only grill burgers? Nowhere. That's where. Now throw on some sausage. And keep it juicy.
Woogie woogie jam slam, bust the dialect. I'm the man in command. Come, flow with the sounds of the mighty mic.
Welcome back. Cory, McCartney, Grayson, Rosen with you. We just saw USA Prime National get a 17-1 win over Wow Factor National in our game of the day for the Prep Baseball Tournament's Youth Cup. And man, Grayson, this offense for USA Prime National was really, really impressive when we saw that, punctuated by a 10-run fifth inning in which they took advantage of walks, and there was a pitching change for Wow Factor. Strikes started coming, and these guys took advantage.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously we saw so many walks out of this lineup late in this game, but the bigger thing to me, you had 4 players in the lineup for USA Prime with multiple RBIs in this game, which is huge. You're getting huge contributions from all over the lineup, guys with RBIs up and down this lineup. So that's my favorite thing that I saw was when they needed to be patient, they were patient and drew the walks. When they saw the strikes, they were aggressive and they were hitting it into good spots.
Yeah, 9 walks issued by Wow Factor's pitching in this one, but you mentioned it. Iker Corona drove in 3 runs. Xavier Rodriguez had 2 RBI. Wyatt Gordon drove into. CJ Meyer drove into. It was up and down the lineup. And as we turn our attention to player of the game, we kind of teetered. There was a couple moments where we thought maybe somebody else might get it. Wyatt Gordon gave us an unforgettable moment late, and then he continued to deliver offensively throughout the game to earn himself player of the game.
Yeah, I mean, in that huge inning, he started off, he was the first base runner to reach in that big inning with the walk, and then comes all the way back around, hits a 2 RBI single later in that inning to continue to advance this lead. He looked great throughout the game. Obviously, we had an unbelievable moment with the broken bat as well, but Wyatt Gordon definitely stood out in this lineup.
Yeah, Wyatt Gordon goes 3 for 3 with 3 RBI, also drew a walk. He goes single, walk, single, that last single driving in a couple more as he just ends up again with 3 RBI. The Rancho Bernardo 2029 just stood out amongst a really, really good USA Prime national lineup and gets himself player of the game. Make sure you check out our interview with Wyatt coming across our social media channels a little bit later today. We will be back with coverage of the Easter Challenge next weekend. It's going to be a crazy one. It's largely just a one-day event. There'll be some games played on Friday, but condensing a whole bunch of pool play and bracket play into Saturday's festivities as everyone will be off for Easter Sunday. So you won't want to miss that one. Make sure you follow all the LakePoint Sports social media channels so you get tune information on that one. So we'll have plenty more for you coming on X, Facebook, and YouTube throughout the week. So until next time, for Grayson, Rosen, and producer Jack McCartney, I'm Cory McCartney, and we're signing off from LakePoint Sports.